Hi friends, I hope you're all doing good. So in today's video, I will do an exam which is on our website. So it's 50 questions, picked questions, random questions from all the topics, including speed, priority, parking, waiting. So you will see that. And then you can also do this exam on our website. By the way, we also have a free practice exam. So if you want to just practice free, so you can go here, free driving test 50 questions, and you can do this do these 50 questions for free. Absolutely. So now, but I will go to the real questions where we have more than 700 questions in our database. So let me start the exam and then we will discuss as we proceed through this exam. Okay, so I start exam. Okay, so you can see that we will have 50 questions and at the end we will see what our results will be. All right, so here's the first question. Are you still allowed here to change lane, to go to left or to go to the right? Of course, yes. Yes, but you must do it only if it is safe. Yes, because see, these are broken lines, so you are allowed to still go to the left or to the right. So that's no problem. It's not prohibited here. Okay. So if you come across any question where you think the question or the options are not correct, then you can use this report question option to report the question and we will look at the feedback that you give. All right. So let's go to the next question. How fast is this car allowed to drive 150 meters ahead? Okay, so very interesting question. So this is a built-up area. If you look at the built-up area without this board, this would have been 50 kilometers per hour, normal conditions if it's not Brussels. And if you get a question like this, just consider it that it's general question. It's not specific to Brussels. So you can easily say 50 kilometers per hour. But you see this warning board. It's a warning board. It indicates that there is a road hump ahead. And these warning boards are usually placed 150 meters before the actual place where the dangerous place, right? In this case, it's a road hump which is at 150 meters. So and on a road hump, you're allowed to drive at a maximum speed of 30 kilometers per hour. Okay, so let's move on to the question 3. Okay, the maximum permitted mass is, what is the maximum permitted mass? The weight of a roadworthy vehicle, excluding load, drivers and passengers. The maximum total weight of a vehicle can weigh, the total weight of the vehicle plus load and passengers. So this question is the maximum permitted mass will be actually the MTM, which is the maximum total weight a vehicle can weigh. Okay. Uh, so let's look at this. The weight of a roadworthy vehicle excluding, no, it's not excluding or including anything. It's just that, whatever the car is, it doesn't matter if you include or exclude the passengers, include or exclude the luggage, is the maximum total weight of a car can weigh. So it can be like a smaller car will be 2.5 tons, a bigger car, an SUV will be 2.83 tons. So that's the maximum permitted mass. It's defined by the manufacturer. Let's go to the next question. Indicate the order of priority. Okay, so here's an interesting question. So it indicates, if you look at these boards, it indicates that there is the priority from the right. So you must always follow that. So the way we do this is, let's say, let's take the white car. So the white car doesn't have priority over any other car. The blue car is on the right side of the white car. So the blue car must go before the white car, but there is the yellow car which is on the right side of the blue car. So the yellow car goes first and there is no other car on the right side here, right? So the yellow car goes first, then the blue, then the white. All the indicators, they don't matter which way they are turning, it doesn't matter. They are at a junction where there's priority from right. Okay, so let's select yellow car, blue car, and white car. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So you are driving at 80 kilometers per hour. It's possible that we might get some questions wrong, but then again, we will be able to see, at the end, the explanations, and that will also be a good exercise for us. Okay. So you drive 80 kilometers per hour in a built up area. All right. So it indicates 80, it's a built up area and you are driving. What are the consequences? In the event of a subsequent violation, your driver's license will be revoked. No, your driver's license can only be revoked by a judge. So within built up area, it's, if you drive more than 30 kilometers than what is permitted, your driver's license can be revoked immediately. All right. Okay. Outside built up area, it's 40 kilometers. So can this vehicle be parked here in front of a car garage? You should know that parking in front of a car garage is prohibited. Okay. So the question is, can this vehicle be parked here? No. It's simple. The answer is no. Okay. Are you allowed to drive into this street with a passenger car? So this street is prohibiting vehicles which are more than 5.5 tons, and a car or a light motor vehicle LMV can not exceed more than 3.5 tons. So are you allowed to drive? Yes, you are allowed to drive. This will be your answer. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. Are you allowed to continue at the traffic lights to drive straight ahead? Yes. So if you want to drive straight ahead, you can see that there is green traffic light. If you want to turn left, then that's prohibited. So are you allowed to continue to drive at the traffic light to drive straight ahead? Yes. Let's move on to question 9. There are no speed signs. Okay, we see that. How fast are you allowed to drive in Flanders region? In Flanders region or in Wallonia region, except for Brussels. In Brussels, it's 30 kilometers within a built-up area. In Flanders and Wallonia, it's going to be 50 kilometers per hour within a built-up area. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. Which one is the correct way to turn right here? Okay, so now which one is the correct way to turn right here? You see, it's a continuous lane here. Okay, so you cannot cross this lane. And there are these checked boxes. So you must use this as a bridge. So think about this as a river. So you can use this as a bridge to turn right. Here, it's definitely not allowed, right? So your case 2, you do not pre-sort, but just turn right. Well, should be your answer, okay? Now, driving in too high a gear for a long time, what does it do? Ensures low fuel, no fuel consumption will be too high if you drive when you are driving in at a high gear. Has no effect on fuel, increases fuel consumption. Okay, high gears are like 1 and 2, and the low gears are 4, 5, and so on. Okay, so it increases your fuel consumption. What should you do at the next intersection? All right, now this is an interesting question because it shows that it's a sharp teeth, but you must focus on the board below the sharp teeth, which says that there is stop at 150 meters, right? So you must, when you see, so 150 at 150 meters or at the next junction, you will see a stop board. And what do you do at a stop board? You stop and give way to all drivers. So definitely, what are the other options? Give priority to all drivers? No. Stop and give way to all drivers coming from the right? No. You have to give from to all drivers. Give priority? No, it's not. If it was only the triangle, then it would have been give priority. But in this case, there is a stop board. So we should stop and give priority to all other drivers. Let's continue. A vehicle merges shortly before you. Okay, how will you react? So there is a blue car which is kind of merging before you. Okay, how will you react? Now, in reality, the blue car should not merge like this, but you never know. People just do they just don't realize sometimes, and they just take a change the lane, which is what is happening here in this case. So even in these cases, when it's not your fault, you have to I honk for a long time. No, this is not how you should react. I speed up and drive closer. No, that is very, very dangerous. Don't do that. I slow down and correct my following. Of course, you should do this. You should slow down and you should adjust your speed so that you are not very close to the car. Okay. I flash the high beam lights. No, this is again, it can get violent. So you should avoid doing things like this. Let's move to the next question. Question 14. The white the white car is overtaking your car. Okay. All right. In this case, how will you react? Yeah, so you are driving a yellow car in this case. So when someone is overtaking you, you allow the person to overtake you and make sure that the person can overtake you easily. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to slow down. No, you don't have to slow down. You always drive at your speed. So that's, you know, okay, it might be needed that you will have to slow down depending on the circumstances, but in normal conditions, when someone is overtaking you, you just drive at your speed. If you're driving at 65, continue to drive at 65. You must drive as right as possible. Okay, this is something that you must do when someone is overtaking you. So you give him place, give the other person place to easily overtake you. Okay, you are allowed to speed up. No, this will be an offense, and you should never. This will be like racing the other person, putting yourself and the other driver also in danger. Okay, you must drive as right as possible. Okay, all right, let's move to the next question. The maximum speed limit on the motorway is 120 kilometers per hour. Does this apply to everyone? Now, the maximum speed is 120 kilometers per hour. Does this apply to everyone? Not for the vehicles and tows with MTM of more than 7.5 tons. Not for the vehicles and tows with MTM of more than 3.5 tons. And yes, so I think it could be not for the vehicles of more than 7.5 tons. It could be that, but we can check later. If we get this wrong, we will know that we will be able to see an explanation. Okay, let's move to the next question. You're driving this yellow car and at this place. Now, this is very interesting. There are no road markings, but the car must pay attention to the traffic sign which says give priority, right? So the options are you must give priority and beware of cyclists and mopeds coming from the right, and that's what it is. So you must give priority and be aware that the cyclist may be coming from left as well as from right. So this should be the right one, but we'll see the other options. Only cyclists and mopeds must give priority to cyclists from must give priority to cyclists and mopeds. No, it's not just cyclists and mopeds, but you must give priority and you must be aware of the mopeds also coming, right? So you must give priority to all other drivers. All right, so let's move on. Do you get distracted when you're talking on the phone behind the wheel? Of course, yes, no doubt about it, right? Okay, here's a photo. When performing a maneuver, you must use the directional indicator. Okay, maneuvers are things like turning right, turning left, changing lane, and all those things. So you must always use your directional indicator. Only if there are other road users is the other option. Third option, only between nightfall and daybreak. No, even not optional. It's not optional. You should always do it. Okay, you should always use your indicators. It's so you already indicate to the other drivers that you're doing a maneuver. Okay. Question 19, you are driving this yellow car. How far should you continue to drive at a speed of 30 kilometers per hour? Now, this is a zonal board, right? So it says ZON is zone, which means that you must continue driving this at this speed till you see an end of zone. Okay, it's not till the next junction, until the end of zone 30. So when you see a zonal port, you must follow those rules till the end of zone, not the till the end of the street until, no, these are not correct options, until the end of zone 30. So let's move on. Indicate the order of priority. Now this is very interesting. So right away we can say that the yellow car goes first. Why? Because blue and white have shark teeth. So the first car is yellow car. So which options here have yellow car? So yellow car, here it is yellow car. Then you see it should be the white car because the white car is turning right. And at the end is the blue car because it is turning left. Okay, so yellow, white, and blue. All right. So things like this, questions like this, you should right away be able to say that, okay, this is how it should be. You should be able to rule out who will go last or who will go first, and you can already, get to the answer very fast. Okay. See, in this case, white car and blue car, this is ruled out because white car and blue car, they have shark teeth. So the only option left is yellow car. So that's how you can figure out. Now, this is a bicycle lane, okay? And at this intersection, the cyclist has priority. Of course, yes. The cyclist is driving on the bicycle lane. The car is trying to turn to the right, but the car must first give priority to the bicycle, okay, before it makes a turn. The cyclist has priority. It should be an yellow car. So I'm going to just add a comment here. The option should say yellow car. Okay, so here I submit it. Okay, the question has been reported. Let's go to the next question. All vehicle merges shortly. A vehicle merges shortly before you. How will you react? I think, yeah, I think we have already come across this question. I slow down and correct my following distance. In this street within the built-up area, the speed is limited to. So you're driving within a built-up area, but it doesn't matter. It's a fietsstraat, it's a bicycle street. In a bicycle street, your speed, you should never exceed more than 30 kilometers per hour. Okay. One thing, you should not overtake a bicycle, and your speed should also not exceed 30 kilometers per hour. Okay. Now, are you allowed to park on the road here? Okay, now it's a question, it's a bus stop, as you can see, and a car is, are you allowed to park? No, at a bus stop, you're allowed to wait, but you're not allowed to park. Yes, that is allowed within built-up area. Yes, that is always allowed. Or not, no, it's not allowed at a bus stop. Parking is prohibited, but waiting is allowed, okay? Let's go to the next question. What is the maximum load allowed on a vehicle? What is the maximum load allowed on a vehicle? I think it's maximum height. Okay, maybe what is the maximum load allowed on the vehicle? I think it should be 4 meters. It should clearly say about the height. So okay, it should be 4 meters. So let's continue with that. What does the sign with the red board mean? Okay, so here's a red traffic sign and there is a black traffic sign. So they are asking the question about the red traffic sign. So it says parking is prohibited at house numbers 16 to 31. Parking is prohibited at house numbers 1 to 15. So this, if you see this board, it's an alternate parking throughout the built-up area. Okay. It's alternate 1 to 15 on one side of the street and 16 to 31 on the other side of the street. Okay. So let's move to the next question. By the way, I want to just stop here and let you know that everything that we have here is covered, excellently explained very nicely in our book. So if you want to buy our book, you can actually go to this. Let me quickly go to our site here. And if you go here, you can actually have access, read the first lesson from our book. As you can see, everything about the introduction to traffic boards, priority, and fields, cross point, roads. So everything is included, explained very well. So you can access this book for free. The first lesson is for free. But if you want to buy the book, I think you can go here, theory book. So you can go to theory book in English, and you can buy either the ebook or you can buy the physical book. So if you click here, you can actually choose from two options. So the small font or the normal font. I would suggest take the normal font, and then it so you can order this book here. Everything that is in the exams here is covered very well in this book. You can also see on Amazon that this book is kind of doing very well. If let me search for the book, and as you can see, it has got 14 stars and it's doing pretty well, right? Okay, so let's continue with the question 27. Can the blue car overtake the white car on the left here? So if there are no traffic signs, then it should be priority from right. And at a junction where a vehicle does not have priority, it should not do any overtake. So it's simple no. The blue car is not allowed to overtake the white car on the left. Okay. So in this case, the yellow car goes first, then the white, and then the blue. Okay. Let's go here. With a driving license B, what is the maximum vehicle weight you can drive? With a driver's license B, the maximum maximum allowed mass is 3.5 tons. It's not 3.5 tons when loaded. It doesn't mean that, okay, when people are there, when the vehicle has a full tank. No, the condition is not those. The condition is the vehicle itself should not exceed 3.5 tons. Okay. The maximum speed limit on the motorway is 120 kilometers per hour. Does this apply to everyone? I think we had this question, not for vehicles. I think it's C1 7.5 tons. So let's proceed with that. Who is allowed to park here? Now, this is an question related to parking and waiting. Parking reserved for all vehicles with a blue parking card. So as the board indicates here, parking reserved for drivers of electric vehicle who want to charge their vehicle. Parking reserved for drivers. So it's parking reserved for drivers of electrical vehicles who want to charge their vehicles. Okay, so they can park here, of course, but then they will have to, if they want to charge, then they can, of course, they are allowed to park here. Okay, not other vehicles. Okay, as you can see this board here, which indicates that you can look at the you can park here only if you are charging your vehicle, electric vehicle. Question 31. In what order are these vehicles allowed to enter the intersection? Yellow car will be the last one because it has shark teeth. So we have this. This is ruled out. So this is not going to be the correct answer. Now the between white and blue. So kind of white, you see, white is trying to exit its lane. So this is the lane of white and it's trying to exit its lane, which means, and then blue is trying to turn right. So blue will be the first one to go, then the white car, and finally it would be the yellow car. Okay. Question 32. Driving with air conditioning on. What does it do? It increases fuel consumption, provides a longer braking distance, is taxing on the battery. Air conditioning on, so it increases the fuel consumption. Okay. You are driving the yellow car. Are you allowed to drive straight now? No. A yellow car is prohibited because the yellow car is trying to drive straight. The only cars that are allowed, or the only vehicles that are allowed to pass this junction now, are the vehicles that are turning right. So right is allowed, like the white car. You're driving the yellow car. Are you allowed to drive straight now? The answer is no. Okay, so let's move on. You want to leave the motorway. How will you react? Now, you want to exit. So what will you do? You brake now and switch on the indicate directional indicators. You switch on the directional indicators and gradually slow down on the exit lane. Yes, so this is how you must exit the motorway. Never brake on the motorway unless there is a situation, because the moment you apply brakes, the other vehicles are driving at high speeds and get they might get panicked. So don't apply brakes here, but apply the indicators, go to the exit lane, and you can apply the brakes on the exit lane. Okay. Okay, what does this traffic sign warn you of? So a train stop, not really. A level crossing without barriers. This is what it is. Okay. This is level crossing without barriers. So let's move on. It's not a level crossing with barriers. Otherwise, you would have had those barriers also shown. A tourist train, no. Okay. Question 36. The breath analysis shows zero point 0.1 mg per liter UAL. What are the consequences? So I think if it is 0.19, I think I can drive further, but yeah, we can check that later, right? It could either be 3-hour driving ban or I can drive further. What is the maximum permitted speed the yellow car is allowed to drive? Now, within a built-up area, if we didn't have this board, we would have selected 50 kilometers per hour. But in this case, because the car has already crossed this board, right? See, also the position of the car matters. The car has already crossed this board. So now it must follow the speed indicated by the board. If the car was here, for example, it would still have been 50 kilometers per hour, right? So in this case, it will be 5 kilometers per hour. That's a prohibition board for speed. Now, the roadway is blocked due to truck breakdown. How must the yellow car drive further? When there is an obstacle, you just must cross the obstacle. The way A is the best way to do it. You should not do it the way B, because in that case, you will be blocking the traffic coming from the opposite direction. Okay, scenario A is the right scenario you will follow. All right. Okay, now questions like this with the policeman and those questions where the penalties are high, category 3 and 4 offense, those are usually questions where you might lose 5 marks if you don't do it correctly. Okay, so here you have to be very careful. The yellow car here must clear the junction. It must not stop. All the other traffic must stop, but the yellow car must clear the junction. Why? Because when the policeman raises his arm, it means that all the traffic must stop except for the traffic which is already on the junction. They must quickly clear the junction. Okay. Let's move on. Question 40. Can you encounter public transport buses on this road? That's a tricky question, but I think maybe yes. So we will go for yes for now, but we will see if it is a wrong answer later. There is an animal walking on the road. What will you do? Okay, when you encounter animals on the road, you don't honk. You should not do that, because then the animals start running on the road everywhere. You slow down. Yeah, yes, you slow down. You don't have to stop. You just slow down and adjust your speed. Okay. And now how fast can you drive past the next junction at the traffic lights? Okay, how fast can you drive past the next junction at the traffic light? Now here you are within a built up area. Okay, so you drive at 50 kilometers per hour. But when you see a board like this, you have to adapt your speed. You can drive up to 70 kilometers per hour. But these boards apply only till the next junction. So after the next junction, you must again follow what is the zonal condition, which is 50 kilometers per hour. Okay, so let's select that. On a motorway, are you allowed to overtake this car that is already driving at 120 kilometers per hour? No way. You must never do that. Yeah, when a car is already driving at 120 kilometers per hour, and if you try to overtake it, you will then have to drive at 130 or even 135, which is an offense, right? So let's beyond this sign. Question 44, beyond this traffic sign, overtaking other cars is prohibited. Overtaking from left a carriage or a vehicle with more than two wheels is prohibited. Yes, memorize this statement because this is what applies to overtaking ban. Okay, memorize this statement. If it is in Dutch or French, just memorize it. Okay, so that's the answer for this. What does this traffic sign? What does this traffic sign prohibit? It's a not, this is not a prohibition board. I was wondering what does it prohibit? So it's not a prohibition board. Of course, it's an information board, right? So it's not prohibiting anything. Question 46. With a breath analysis of 0.29 mg per liter UAL, the consequences are, I think it's 3-hour ban, but we will see later if we get this answer wrong. The car wants to overtake the cyclist within built-up areas. What is the minimum lateral distance required? Within built-up area, you are driving a little bit slow, so it's 1 meters lateral distance. Outside built-up area, it has to be 1.5 meters. So in this case, it's 1 meters. The tram wants to turn left. Who has priority? Of course, the tram. When there is a question like this, you can easily say the tram because trams don't follow any traffic rules. They follow the traffic lights, they follow the direction of the authorized person, but not the traffic rules. So priority from right, maneuver, all these things don't matter for a tram. Okay. Driving in too low gear results in reduced reduced fuel. Driving in too low gear results in, I think, too low gear. It's not even low gear because you're already changing your gears quickly, very fast. So it's more of increased carbon dioxide formation. What should the sketch on a collision form contain? You know, when there is an accident, you have this collision form. What should it contain? Only the vehicles involved and their position, the vehicles involved, their position, direction of travel, and traffic signs. I think as much as information that you can put. Okay. Let's look at the results and let's hope we have passed the exam. And it's doing the calculations. Okay, it says congratulations, you have passed the exam and you have done a great job. So for some reason, the other website, which I was trying through Firefox, closed abruptly, and then I couldn't show all the details. So what I did was then quickly did an exam myself, and then I want to show what you will see on the final page. So this is the results page, which will show if you have passed or not passed the exam. As I did the exam very quickly, it says you have not passed the exam, and it will show you the percentage, your score, and also how much you have scored, 2 out of 50. So you can submit your rating here. If you like the quiz, you can submit your rating. You can also put some feedback there like this. If you say you will be given some place to put the feedback. Now, in addition to that, once at this on this page, you will see all the questions that you have answered incorrectly. So at the top first, you will see all the questions that you have answered wrong. So it says you have not answered this question, you have not answered this question. I quickly ran through the exam to show you how the final page, the results page will look like. And then at the bottom, you will see the explanation for every question. So you have the right option and then the explanation. Then you have the question, you have the right option and the explanation. So, you can continue like that. And at the end, if you quickly scroll to the bottom, you will be able to see what the correct answers were for you. In this case, you have answered this correctly. So the selected option is correct, and it gives an explanation as to why this option is correct. So every question has an explanation. There are no questions without explanations. And then if you still find that if you want to still take some classes, you can click this link, and then you will be able to select one of the two sessions, which is either the 2 days theory class or one-to-one dedicated sessions. All right, with that, I would end here, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching.